Well, we have some breaking news. Johnson & Johnson has just announced that a second dose of their COVID-19 vaccine provides 94% protection against infection. Good morning and thanks for joining us on Up With Krem. I'm Channing Curtis.
Glad to have you here with us. I'm Tim Pham. This is new within the last hour or so. The company says their latest study shows 2 shots of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine is comparable to 2 doses of the Pfizer-Moderna vaccine. Johnson & Johnson says research shows adding a booster dose to a single shot raised immunity even more. The single-dose vaccine was given emergency use authorization by the FDA earlier this year.
Now, more than 14.8 million Americans have already received the J&J vaccine. The company says it will provide its newest data to the FDA. Now, as COVID-19 cases continue to surge, Washington health leaders are planning to add more testing sites in Spokane.
So this morning, Nicole Hernandez explaining where these testing centers could open. Good morning, Nicole.
Yeah, good morning, guys. Right now I'm live at Spokane Falls Community College, which is just one spot where a new mass COVID-19 testing site could be. Now, just last week, the Washington State Department of Health told us that there were not any plans to open up any new mass testing sites, but now there are plans for 2 new ones. Now, like I mentioned, one of those spots could be here at Spokane Falls Community College. The other, though, just east of here at Spokane Community College. The Washington State Department of Health, Spokane Regional Health District, and Discovery Health will all help with testing. Leaders say they will hire local healthcare workers, and Discovery Health will also bring in staff from Seattle. Right now in Spokane, it seems impossible to get a COVID test. Local leaders say it's because staffing shortages are playing a role in longer wait times for tests. Now, last year, Spokane had a mass testing site at the Spokane Arena. It eventually closed when the arena turned into a mass vaccination site in February. That vaccine clinic then closed in June. So the testing sites should be opening up here in the next 3 weeks for patients to start getting their tests. Live in Spokane, I'm Nicole Hernandez.
Nicole, thanks so much for breaking that down. Yeah, it's been very difficult to get a COVID test recently, and so this will make it more available to people.
Absolutely.
All right, it is 6:02. If you are heading out the door today, you might notice
Bring
it's
a coat.
little chilly, okay?
Absolutely.
And I hate to admit it, but I already turned on my heat in my house and my truck.
You're worse than I am, Tim. I haven't even done that yet.
You know, it's just too cold. I like it warm.
Yes, like I've
year.
brought in some spare blankets, that's for sure, like just in case for work.
And Jeremy's rocking the peak coat too. You might see that a little bit later in the show.
Hey,
I admittedly forgot I was outside, so.
You don't need a coat, you just sprinted.
Yeah, you did. You're warm.
Yeah,
I made it across the whole station in 10 seconds, so I'm overheating now.
Yeah.
So,
do you need
I don't. Do you need a break for a second?
no,
I used to forecast
let's just
the weather.
All right, happy Tuesday, everybody. It's a beautiful start to the day. I mean, check out that sunrise. Downright gorgeous. Even up here on the South Hill, you can see off in the distance that glow, kind of illuminating the beautiful skyline. It is downright gorgeous this morning. And downright chilly, 44 degrees outside. Now, if you're not going for a dead sprint early in the morning, you are going to want that coat, that something to keep you warm as you step out the door. But very similar to the first day of school for places like Cheney and up in Deer Park. It's a chilly start to the day, but by this afternoon, temperatures are going to climb. So if you're heading out the door in Coeur d'Alene and it's 38 or 36 in Sandpoint, you're at 34 in Deer Park this morning. Newport, you're right around there as well, so it's a chilly one. But by this afternoon, we really start to warm up. Got a little bit of patchy fog still lingering there near Sandpoint. And as we move through the day, expect plenty of sunshine right underneath that ridge of high pressure. So today, calm wind, plenty of sun. It's basically that pattern that gave us all of that heat in the summer. But since we're closer to fall and our days are shorter and we don't quite have that summer heat, we get this. A 10-degree jump from where we were yesterday, so that puts us in the mid-70s later on this afternoon. And that mid-70s comes with plenty of sun.
Right now, taking a live look at New York City, national leaders are gathering for the UN General Assembly. And this morning, President Biden will address the UN for the first time since he took office.
Now, he arrived in the city last night. Biden's speech will focus on the idea that the world is turning a page after 2 decades of war.
He will also reaffirm that the United States is not turning inward, including as we look to the decision the United States made, the president made, to bring our troops home from Afghanistan.
Now, this will be the first in-person General Assembly in 2 years. Because of the pandemic, last year's event was mostly virtual. This year, about 2/3 of the 193 UN member states have sent delegates.
So President Biden is expected to speak before the UN around 7 this morning. And here on Up With Krem, we will have live coverage of at least portions of that speech. And you can watch it on krem.com and inside the Krem 2 app as well.
It is time now for your Morning Rush. More news in less time.
New this morning, Gonzaga athletics will require proof of COVID-19 vaccination or a negative test to attend all sporting events. Gonzaga's new policy goes into effect September 25th at Gonzaga's women's soccer game against the University of Nebraska, Omaha. Those who opt for the COVID test route will need to take it within 72 hours of the event, and this will apply to both indoor and outdoor events.
The Washington Department of Transportation will keep the eastbound Freya on-ramp closed for now. The ramp will remain closed until construction to connect the North Spokane corridor to I-90 begins. WashDOT is considering permanent closure to further reduce collisions and improve travel time. The WashDOT says there are provisions in the North Spokane corridor for a Freya on-ramp in 2023.
A hiker is recovering after getting lost in the Olympic National Park for nearly 2 weeks. The U.S. Coast Guard hoisted Jaron Fisher into a rescue helicopter on Monday after a search party found him in a ravine near Mount Olson. The 26-year-old spent 11 days in the park. The Coast Guard says he only had scrapes and cuts and was in good spirits. The Coast Guard said he was well prepared for the situation that he found himself in.
The White House is extending restrictions at the border with Canada and Mexico through October 21st. Now, Canada lifted its border restrictions last month, so Americans can visit with proof of vaccination and a negative COVID-19 test.
An autopsy is scheduled today to confirm the identity of Gabby Petito. The apparent remains of the 22-year-old were found over the weekend in Wyoming. Her fiance, who is a person of interest in her disappearance during a cross-country road trip, has not been seen in about a week. That's your Morning Rush. More news in less time. Let us know what's happening in your neighborhood by using the hashtag #UpWithKrem on social media.
And stick around because coming up after the break, we talked about today's warm, sunny weather thanks to our ridge of high pressure. But this thing right here is a bit of energy. I'm going to let you know how that affects the forecast for the first day of fall.
Well, this morning, hospitalizations appear to be coming down in Washington, but the rising death rate is still troubling our health leaders.